Hello, everyone, and welcome to MPA's 8th Annual Photography Contest Awards Ceremony. My name is Steve Sattler, and I will be your host tonight. A few numbers on the contest this year. There were 1,239 images submitted into the four categories. Abandoned had 335 submitted, Birds 311, Minimalism 269, and Shadows or Silhouettes 324. And this is the breakdown by club. I'll leave this up here for a few seconds, but 20% of the images submitted were by non-MPA members and 80% were submitted by MPA members. Similar distribution to last year's contest. Everyone who is mentioned tonight receiving a first, second, third place or honorable mention award will receive an invitation to exhibit in the State of Maryland House of Delegates Gallery Show, which will take place January 8th through April 7th. So if your name is mentioned, you will receive a communication from us with instructions what to do. And if your name is mentioned for a first, second, or third place award, in each category, you will win a $300 package for first place, $150 package for second place, and $75 package for third place. And as you see, gift cards from Service Photo, Nations Photo Lab, and MPA Cash Award as well. A few folks we'd like to thank before we get into the awards. First, a special thank you to the MPA Competition Committee, and special thanks to Mary Bremen, the chair of that committee. This committee meets year-round for the two contests that we put on. A lot of attention to detail that goes into it. So thank you, Ron Pfeiffer, Mike Thomas, and Steve Bruza, and again, especially Mary for her work as chair and also taking the lead on designing our software that made it so easy for you to submit into the contest this year. Special thanks to the MPA Webinar Committee, Steve Bruza again, Sandy Nichols, and Mike Washington. I did a quick tally, and tonight is actually the 75th production that our team, this very team, has put together between Artist Spotlight webinars, the Photo Contest Award Ceremony, our Maryland Masters Program, and our Odyssey of Light. So thank you, guys. Special thanks to our 13 sponsors, especially Service Photo and Nations Photo Lab, who generously donated those gift cards as part of our awards package tonight. Our two judges for the contest were Jennifer King and Jonathan Vanes. And if you're not familiar with them, Jennifer is an internationally acclaimed landscape and fine art photographer with a passion for teaching and inspiring photographers around the world. She is a Moab master photographer, a Stingray ambassador, and is named one of 15 amazing women to follow by 500px. And Jonathan Vanes is a photographic educator based in Bedford, England. He is an A-list national judge in the UK and a photographic lecturer both in person and on video conferencing platforms, and he has many awards and holds a London Salon Medal. He is sponsored and affiliated by Permajet, DxO, WEX Photo and Video, and Cartridge Monkey. Now, we've asked our two judges to just provide a little insight into how they judge, and then we're going to get right into the awards. So, Mike, hit it.
So I think when we're looking at images and certainly judging, we have to be quite quick at doing this because we don't have a lot of time, or we just have lots of images, I think, really. So when we look at an image, we have to assess it quickly, but we have to really look at the overall image. So try not to sort of judge any individual aspect to it, sort of such as things as technical or storytelling. You just have to, is this pleasant or not? And then to really understand that if it's not, then why not? So I sort of look at images and sort of think, everyone's a winner and then it sort of slowly falls on me to maybe actually why it's not. I don't build an image up. I guess I just bring images down. So when I look at those, does it communicate with me? And that's a strong part of my judging is the communication. Does it have narrative? Does it, how do I connect with it? What is it trying to tell me? How is it trying to engage with me? Because they're really important parts of photography. Now that might be sort of something really serious, or it might even be humor, or it could just be something simple as that it's a recorded image, or maybe a nature image, or something like that. Of course, as you're doing that, you're also evaluating it technically. So, for highlights, color correctness, white balance, appropriate sharpness, not necessarily sharpness, but appropriate sharpness. So all those other aspects. And I do think, what as the photographer put into this. So for photographer's input is really, really important.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer King. When I am judging a photo competition, there are certain things that I look for. The first thing that I pay attention to is how I have emotionally reacted to your image. Photography is as much about the photographer and the subject as it is the person that's viewing your image. So an emotional reaction is something that I look for. I also pay a lot of attention to the composition. Is the subject in the right place? Is it communicating well? Are there lines leading to it? What kind of framing have you incorporated? What kind of image have you built while you are behind your camera? That also applies to processing. Is your processing effective? Is it natural? Am I looking at the image the way you intended me to? So in other words, have you succeeded in drawing me into the hero of the photograph? Depth of field is important. Your choice there. Sharpness, is everything got a good white balance to it? Have you color corrected your image correctly? But most important to me, aside from the technical, is the creativity. So I look to see how far you can push your boundaries.
Let's begin the award ceremony tonight with the birds category. The MPA contest committee created the definition of birds, which is captures warm-blooded vertebrates characterized by feathers found anywhere in the world. Just a couple of quick points. There were 312 entries submitted into the bird category. And the award winners tonight will give awards for first place, second place, third place, and 14 honorable mentions. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jennifer King.
Hello, photographers, and thank you for submitting so many amazing bird photographs. I absolutely loved looking at all of your images. I'm very impressed by the work that you submitted, and congratulations to all the winners.
All right, Jennifer, let's start with the honorable mention category. So congratulations goes to Debbie Berlin from the North Bethesda Camera Club for her image, White-Throated Mountain Gem.
This is a beautiful capture of the white-throated mountain gem. I absolutely love how delicate that this bird looks on the twig that it's on. It's obviously a very small bird, very hard to capture. They're so fast. But the bird is just popping off the background with such a simple subject line that it's sitting on. And the depth of field is wonderful. It's a beautiful portrait, yet it has some environment to it. I love the catchlight in its eye, and it's just a stunning photo that really caught my eye right away. And it's just simply beautiful. I love it. Very well done.
Thank you. Our next honorable mention goes to Richard Blakeney from the Rossmore Camera Club of Silver Spring for his image, Fledgling Robin in the Rain.
I was very impressed when I first saw this image. I thought that the color of the bark and the color of the feathers blended in so well that it was almost a camouflage, of course, but at the same time, I could recognize the feathers in the bird on the bark. It was truly amazing the way that you framed it and the coloring. I know fledglings are very hard to capture at times, and I thought that the light in the eye was very nice and sharp, and composed extremely well, so that the bird itself is more noticeable than the bark, yet they blend together. Excellent work.
Congratulations to Christopher Frasone from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image, Breakfast.
Excellent capture of this bald eagle. He is so majestic. And what I really love about this image are two things. Of course, he's got the fish in his talons, but they're the drops of water that are just coming down below him that are crisp enough to make out. And it really added a nice element to the color that's behind the eagle as he's flying. It's captivating, very strong, very powerful, and a very warm image, even though he is hunting. It has a very warm feel to it. Very good. Very nice work.
The next honorable mention goes to Chris Kong from the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center Photo Club for the image, Giving or Taking.
A very striking capture, and the title is appropriate. It's interesting. When I first saw the image, I thought maybe it was a mirror reflection. It was so perfect, but it took me a moment to really study the photo and realize what was going on here. So this is an amazing moment to capture in nature and to be able to share. The depth of field is amazing. Everything is tack sharp. And the struggle for the capture, giving or taking, is very prominent. Like I said, it was well titled. The color is very nice. And it's just a strong, powerful image. Excellent work.
Congratulations goes to Michael Kuczynski from the Gaithersburg Camera Club for the image, Stop, Look Around, Here We Come.
I really love this photo. It stopped me in my tracks. And I think oftentimes when we are looking at bird photography, we look for portraits, or we look for things that do kind of stop us in our tracks. This one actually has motion and movement and flow to it, and it is symmetrical at the same time, which is why I love it. I love the pale colors, very minimalistic in color actually, but very prominent in what is going on. The layers are very nice, subtle color, and very nice submission. Very impressed.
The next honorable mention goes to Diane Lansing for her image, Find Fluffy Feathers and Progeny.
I reacted to this image immediately. It is so adorable and so sweet and so cute. And that's what chicks are. They are very endearing birds. What I love about this most is that is not just a portrait of the chicks. You actually have the feathers of the chickens around it. So it's got a story about it, yet it is a portrait at the same time. I'm drawn into the fluffy feathers, the soft yellow, the eyes tack and sharp, but it's the framing around it that makes this so special. Beautiful work.
Congratulations to our next honorable mention award winner, Julie Picardi, for her image, The Soft Evening Sun Illuminates the Great Egret.
Yeah, the sun on this is extremely beautiful. It's very soft and noticeably an evening shot. What stands out to me the most with this egret is the lighting, of course. The light is hitting the egret, but you've allowed this feeling of underexposing in the background, whether you did some of that in processing or while you captured the image. It's very dynamic. I mean, this bird, this egret, is just popping off of the woods, off of the background, yet you still have some of the tree in the twigs all around him just to enhance the appearance a little bit. So beautiful, warm tone, very lovely photograph.
Congratulations to Mike Lawler for his image, Angry Bird Light.
I am always a fan of framing a subject that is moving, and actually framing it to the point where you are focused in on the face or the eye itself. I call this a drama portrait when I do it, and I'm very attracted to these portraits. We don't often do them because I think instinctively we want to see everything in the photo, but I think this actually adds to the feeling of the movement of the wings. We don't need to see the entire wing itself. We don't need to see everything stopped in motion. This motion in the wings adds to this photo. And when I look at it, I'm immediately drawn to the eye and to the landing. This is a very simple photo because of the color palette, and it's exceptionally effective. Very good job.
The next honorable mention goes to Juanita Lane from the Harford County Photography Group for her image, Puffin Pear.
This is a very sweet image. Puffins are so wonderful, right? They're so fantastic to photograph. They have so much character. This photograph is much more than just the puffin. You're showing the environment and a very tender moment at that. So this capture goes beyond just portrait and environment. You captured a moment that's very special. The depth of field in this photo adds to this special moment feeling, this moment nature we always want to see or capture because we're not focused on the flowers. The depth of field is absolutely perfect here because my eye goes straight to the puffins. That moment the beaks are touching and everything else is color and soft environment around it. I think this is a very good photograph.
And the next honorable mention goes to Scott Martyr from the Charm City Photo Club for his image, Sandpiper.
This is by far the best sandpiper photo I have ever seen. And I am impressed at how you managed to get a photograph where it looks like it's actually intentional camera movement on the sand and the water in the background, but get the sandpiper so sharp. This is a stunning portrait with a bird that's sometimes overlooked for its beauty. It's maybe not the bird everybody goes out to photograph. We tend to go for maybe eagles or some other. But when I first saw this image, I was just drawn in to the simplicity in the background, the softness of the colors, the way that the color of the sandpiper blended into the sound and the sand in the environment. And I was just captivated.
That's great. And next up, honorable mention goes to Robert Mazziata from the North Bethesda Camera Club for his image, Short-Eared Owl.
This really is an impressive portrait. It's not an owl that we get to see all the time or every day, so it's a very special bird to be able to see and photograph. The light on his face is incredibly beautiful, and the surrounding color is nice as well. So the depth of field is fantastic here, but it's so tack sharp on the entire face that I just want to look at the face. I'm drawn into the eyes. They're bright, they're sharp, they're crisp, and the feathers around the face and as they go down to the breast are very sharp. Everything else is nice and soft and blends into the environment a little bit in a very good way. The color is amazing. The eyes are captivating. Very good photo.
Congratulations to Julie Picardi for her image, Mountain Bluebird Mom Brings Dinner.
Well, this is certainly a moment to celebrate when you can get mom feeding the chick and having, the insect there to feed it. It's so amazing to be able to capture these moments in nature. And you really got that particular moment, not after it went in the mouth, but right beforehand. So the timing on this is just impeccable. The spotlight on the eye of the both birds are amazing. And just the drama of the moment really, for me, it brought me into the moment that it was occurring. I felt like I could witness it through your photo. So very great capture, and thank you for sharing.
Next up for honorable mention, Wayne Shore from the North Bethesda Camera Club for his image, Penguins Holding Hands, South Africa.
Yeah, this is especially nice. Penguins are so likable and they're so sweet. And what I really like about this moment, of course, is that moment that they're holding hands, but at the same time, the lack of color in the background, the lack of competition for the attention away from the birds is just perfect. If it had been busier, it may not have had the same impact. So that simple, soft depth of field with a lack of color really allows them to pop off the background and then just be absorbed by the moment that you're experiencing and sharing with us. It's a very lovely capture. I think it's a great image.
And our last honorable mention goes to Gary Slosky for his image, A Morning Stroll Interrupted.
Yes, absolutely love this. When I first saw this photo, it captured my attention immediately. I was intrigued at how you got some movement on the water because it's not a super fast shutter speed with the splashes. There are some, but enough slowness that I can actually see the water moving over the bird. That impresses me. So from a technical perspective, a technical side, I think this was perfect timing, perfect technical skill, and just a really great moment to witness. The color palette here is very natural, very appealing. Absolutely stunning photo of this beautiful bird, this beautiful heron.
And now we'll
Great
get
work.
into our awards for the first, second, and third place in the bird category. We'll start with the third place. Congratulations goes to Margaret Udinsky from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Looking for Trouble.
When I first saw this photo, I was very captivated. I thought, how cute is this? And I don't want to just come off and say things are cute, but obviously babies are cute. We're drawn to them in nature and every part of our lives. They're just wonderful subjects to photograph. And what I love about this photograph specifically is the attention that you have from this chick looking at you. I mean, its eyes are so focused. You have catch light in the eye. There's some movement because the sand is kicking up, and the depth of field is absolutely perfect. There's no competition for anything behind the image. It's all right there. He's coming at me. He was coming at your lens. Therefore, the viewer gets to feel like they're in this moment with you. Excellent photo. Fantastic work.
Now we'll go on to our second place award winner. Congratulations goes to Stephanie Boss from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Cuddle Time.
I love this photo. This is one of those moments that you always hope you get to experience, especially with birding. I know we get to see nests sometimes, but something about this particular image, and I think it's the shallow depth of field in front. You have some of the moss in front of the owls on the left-hand side of the image, but it's creating this framing. And the way that the two are leaning into each other is such a tender moment and such a beautiful moment to capture and to share. The color palette is stunning. The depth of field is perfect. The tack sharp eye is amazing, especially on the young one. But I am just drawn in. I can't stop looking at this photo. It really is special. It took a lot of talent and skill, and I'm sure patience to get this, and it shows. Excellent, excellent photo.
And now the award for first place in the bird category, and our congratulations goes to Joan Saba from the Baltimore Camera Club for her image, White Peacock.
This photo is simply magical, from the capture itself to the bird itself, but your interpretation of how to make it feel like it's a piece of art. And that's what I saw when I first looked at this image. I was taken right away. It's very powerful. It's very magical. It has this light that just kind of comes out in a pattern from the feathers itself. And it creates an image where I almost even don't notice it is the peacock at first. I'm surrounded, I'm captivated by the wings. I'm sorry, by the feathers as they just move around the image itself. And then I come to the peacock's head and it's like, wow, this is really spectacular. This is one of the best black and white photos of a bird I have ever seen. I am impressed. I think this is an exceptional piece of art and an amazing photograph for bird photography.
So Jennifer, thank you for your absolutely wonderful commentary, and congratulations to all of the award winners in tonight's bird category. Awards will now be announced for the abandoned category. The MPA contest abandoned, which captures the haunting beauty of neglect, portraying spaces, structures, or objects that are forsaken or left behind. There were 335 entries in this category, and tonight we'll be awarding first place, second place, third place, and 14 honorable mentions. And we'll start with the honorable mentions. So, congratulations goes to John Breen from the Digital Photography Club of Annapolis for his image, American Mariner.
Well done, John. And I was drawn to this, I think, really from the viewpoint. I imagine that John's just come up in his scuba gear and looked at this, found this old relic just sat there, beautiful colours that we've got, and sat in that blue sea. But look, if you look in the foreground, it's all green, and I just think that really just sort of shows the rotting and the decay of our ship, just so polluting the waters. So yeah, well done, John.
Our next honorable mention goes to Robert Dowding for his image, Abandoned number 2.
Well, great colours that we've got in here, and Robert decided to not show us all of the vehicle, just to focus in, so isolating some of those parts of interest. And then we sort of see this patina really developing on the bodywork, and I particularly like the oranges and reds over on the right hand side, and then the difference that we sort of see on that mudguard coming over the wheel, and then just a little bit of wheel in the base, just to bring us back to reality. Certainly been rotting for some while. I think there's lots of decay there.
The next honorable mention goes to Jennifer Edens from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Roller Skate.
Well, I think this just captures a time of the past, that Jennifer's arrived in this location some time after anyone else has been here, and that single skate, it just feels quite eerie, doesn't it? And you start to wonder what was the child's life like in this house, and it makes me think of, maybe it was a home or something like that. It's a very sort of thought-provoking, certainly abandoned. Yeah, very enjoyable image.
Congratulations to Stephanie Gibson from the Charm City Photo Club for her image, Maintenance Office, Philadelphia Electric.
Well, if that's the maintenance office, and they're going to look after their own space first, aren't they? So goodness knows what the rest of the building is like. So I guess there's actually even an element of humor in there. But I think I'm really drawn into this by the very strong composition of this image. I do enjoy those 3 apertures that we've got. The window on the left with just 1 or 2 panes broken out of it. It's sort of teasing us what may be beyond there. The second one, the window frame's completely gone, and then this doorway with maintenance office written there. But I think it's a position of camera, getting the verticals vertical. It just allows us to sort of see a wider angle. And I found that very, very interesting, especially with that pool of light outside the door, through that doorway. It draws me through there. So you're really putting some depth into the image. Yeah, intriguing.
The next honorable mention goes to Eric Hagman for his image, Sentinels.
So we've got huge the sentinels here. These sort of huge these sort of cylinders that we've got on the right hand side, but yet we've put them quite small in frame, and we've used all that space above, that negative space, to make it sort of feel more abandoned. We're out in the emptiness, and we're looking straight down this rail track. It gives us some real distance going off them, just a few clouds in the background. So this whole space and emptiness, I think, is what this image is about. And it's an absolutely wonderful monochrome conversion. It's super.
Congratulations to Peter Hay for his image, Abandoned.
Well, we do get the abandoned feel with this old sort of shed or workshop that we've got here. Look how close that was built to the tree as well. Sort of quite unusual, but they're almost hugged up together, aren't they? And we've got a little fern there as well on the left. Very heavy sky and a good use of monochrome, and then a dusting of snow on the ground, and how that has hit the tree, just providing almost a highlight running up the tree, just to help it break out from the sky. So again, I think very sort of cleverly thought out your positioning here, and I think you've brought out some very, very interesting detail actually on the piece of architecture. So yeah, well done, Peter.
And the next honorable mention in the abandoned category goes to Martin Heavner from the Frederick Camera Click for his image, Chevy CL Senescence.
It's a long time since anyone drove this Chevy, that is for sure. And I think here, interesting, we've had a few monochrome images here, but we've now back into color, and I do like how we've got just this little rubber trim in the middle, just peeling away. Everything's just about giving up over time. Nature is clawing this back as we've got this weed climbing up and devouring the vehicle, and I think that's really poignant. That I think it really is, and then the oranges and the paintwork, what was former glory is there in this sort of turquoise paint. But I like the process of this, where the edges of the image are just almost like torn away. So it just even that is decaying. The photograph appears to be decaying with it. So yeah, well done, Martin.
Congratulations goes to Kenneth Lyons for his image, Yield.
Now, some of you may say, well, that looks like a very well-maintained building. What's the abandoned of this? But I read into this image that the whole area has been abandoned. So it's a wider view of abandonment, that someone's fighting to keep this home, this dwelling in good order, and then it's almost like the surroundings are saying, yield, do not demolish any further. Look at the debris in the roads, and I say the building sort of stands alone. But in the top left, we'll see those trees as well, those winter trees up in the distance, and it's almost that they've given up too. They look quite almost like petrified up there. So it's a house just surviving, I think, in the abandonedness around it. I found that very interesting. Well done, Kenneth.
And the next honorable mention award goes to Debbie Owen for her image, Abandoned number 2.
Well, I found this had a very strong pictorial element to it, with this introducing the a very strong and bold foreground, taking up really, almost 50% of the, of the pixel space. And that sort of softness allowing us to go, we have to go over that and then off into this wonderful sort of landscape, how it rolls down and then back up. And then there it is, the abandoned house on top. Again, a very good monochrome conversion, bringing in a very dark sky with just a few lights just flicking out from behind, just little spurs and stars coming away from there. So yeah, beautiful conversion too. Well done, Debbie.
Congratulations goes to Raymond Perez from the Harford County Photography Group for his image, Barber Chair.
Well, I must remind myself if I ever go to Harford County is to make sure I get a haircut before I arrive there. I think it really doesn't look pleasant. But I found what was very interesting about this image was the red on the chair, that he's still saying, look, I am attractive and please be drawn to me. I'm sure many a person's had a good haircut in that seat, but the room is absolutely terrifying. It reminds me, of something, maybe like a Marathon Man, where I'm going to get my teeth drilled or something like that. I find it sort of quite scary with this shaft of light coming down too. Very, very sort of eerie image and beautifully photographed. Lovely presentation. Great shot.
The next honorable mention award goes to John Petro from the Montgomery County Camera Club of Maryland for his image, Fossil Fuel Fossil.
Yeah, and maybe it's a thing of the future as we are all electrifying our lives with these battery-powered cars. And this is going to become a thing of the past, filling up with gas. But who knows? And here we've got this filling station. It's a long time since I think that pumped any gas at all. But I do like that lovely orange just standing there. It's all in order still. We've still got all the concrete bases, and then nature is just about to sort of take over. There's some trees have started to grow and eat up part of the building. There's some decay there, and again, of course, we've certainly got abandonment. But it really is all about the light actually on that pump, and I think that you're drawn into that, and as I say, it reminds us of what is about to happen. Yeah, well done, John.
Next up, the honorable mention award goes to Jennifer Edens from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Still Wheels.
Those wheels have been still some time, haven't they? That's something that's been decaying an awful long time. I'm not sure I want to put my head in that cabin just to sort of take a picture of that. But yeah, look at that. There's a little bit of cloth on there. I love the radio. It's still got that great color to it, that sort of duck egg blue almost. And then those cobwebs over cobwebs. And you really wouldn't want to hold the wheel, would you? And then if you look at the windshield, we can sort of see all the, I don't know, if it's dirt on there, some color on there, it just feels so scary to be in part of it. I'm glad we're viewing in there and we're not sat in there. Yeah, great shot, Jennifer.
Congratulations to Lori Saunders for her image, Fallen Curtains.
Yeah, this reminded me, I'd said a little bit, I put this in the same bracket as the roller skate one. It gave me this feeling of, maybe an institution or something. And, the curtains don't fall on their own unless you leave them for an awful long time. And I guess the sort of tearing and the weight of the water over the years as things have leaked in has now started to tear and bring down these, and now starting to reveal, the hidden past inside this room. And we don't want to look at that. We just want to look at the curtains. They are almost, love the light coming through that, but they're almost like people hanging there for me. I found that, again, really sort of quite made me feel a little bit nervous looking at this. Great shot, Laurie.
And our last honorable mention award goes to Robert Sullivan from the Tidewater Camera Club for his image on the edge of the marsh.
Yeah, I found this yeah, just a little bit of a puzzle, I think, when I first looked at this, because the scale looks quite unusual. The house looks really small compared to that of the trees on the right-hand side and the grass on the left. But I think that works with it. It almost looks like a toy house that we've got there, left in lots and lots of space with this really abandoned house that we can see through, and it just feels that loneliness. Great working with color here, that you've got the yellows of the base in the yellows of the house and the green of the trees as the roof shingles. And I sort of think that really helps blend that image in. Super shot, Robert.
And now we'll move on to awards for first, second, and third place. And we'll start with the third place award. And our congratulations goes to Rebecca Carpenter from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Ancient History.
Yeah, well, this is just a great shot. I just looked at this and I thought, yeah, I first read this as the time, quarter to 12. That could be quarter to midnight, and that is in the life of the world, which is here in the left-hand side. And I think that's probably where we are with the environment, and we need to get back to basics. And back to basics is your ABCs, and that's on the right-hand wall. We need to sort of wipe out what we've done with those boards at the back. We've wiped those clean, and I just think it's a lesson of where we are. And I felt that was a really sort of strong narrative in this image. I thought that was a really, really striking shot. Simple but great.
Now on to second place. The second place award, and our congratulations, goes to Mark Nelson from the Tidewater Camera Club for his image, Unwanted.
Yeah, well, I think you've sort of taken some unwanted old barn here and turned it into a wonderful pictorial image. And I think this is, it's a real photographer's image, isn't it? Where we've got the subject, but we've pushed it all the way back and actually put something bigger in the foreground, which are these sort of bulrushes in this pond, I guess. And then that sort of snow covering has sort of softened everything down as we've turned it almost into a pastel image. But that front and back not only give depth, but really balance the image. Simplified by taking this into a black and white. It's got a good tonal range where it needs it, and then it's sort of almost like a pastel around it. So I think it's a wonderful piece of photography, and someone who's got real courage and understanding of their craft by bringing this part on the front and the right-hand side forward. It's a super shot. Well done, Mark.
And now the first place award, and our congratulations goes to Stephanie Boss from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Immigrant Hope.
Well, we've talked a little bit about narrative, and I think this is, this has got it in spades. Well, it really, really has. I found the really striking part about this was, we've got, I guess, where we've got an immigrant that's arrived in the country. This is where we're going to base, and we've provided light, we've provided heat, and we've provided washing facilities. So we've given them all the needs that people want, and we've got that. We've got that with evidence of that. But then the hope is that we've got this little bit of light sort of coming through the windows, causing these long shadows. And of course, it's all about that in the mirror, isn't it? Because that is freedom. That is a significant sort of understanding of freedom of our world. And of course, that is the hope. And because it's in a mirror, it means that when you go touch it in the mirror, you can't actually hold it. It's there, but it's not quite there. I felt that was a very, very powerful image, and certainly worthy of first place.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for your wonderful commentary, and congratulations to all of the award winners in the abandoned category. Awards will now be announced for the minimalism category. The MPA contest committee created the definition of minimalism, which embodies the art of reduction, distilling images to their essential elements, stripping away distractions to reveal purity and simplicity. There were 268 entries in the category, and tonight we will give out a first place, second place, third place, and 11 honorable mentions. And we'll start with the honorable mention category. Congratulations goes to Mary Jo Bennett from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Don't Fence Me In.
This photo is such a great composition and has so many elements that draw me into the photo itself. The way the photographer has used the lines of the fence to just bring me into the photo and take me out to what seems to be the middle of nowhere has a very appealing feeling to it. I have an emotional reaction to it for that reason. Where am I going? What is out there? There's a little bit of mystery here, and it's very powerful. Excellent work.
The next honorable mention award goes to Rachel Kane for her Waiting.
One of the things I love about minimalism the most is how people interpret their sense of feeling. This has a feeling of isolation to it, but also anticipation, right? You have these chairs out on the dock in front of water that has got a long exposure on it, as well as the clouds. That really adds an emotional effect to this image, just simply by the movement of the clouds. It's mystical, it's mysterious. There's an anticipation. I want to be in that chair, but I want to stand back from it. Compositionally, you did an excellent job. Everything is very balanced. You have movement in the cloud. It's the long exposure that has really drawn me in, and the minimalism in the color as well. Great work.
The next honorable mention goes to John Carter from the Central Maryland Photography Guild, Marriottsville, for his image, Lone Seashell.
It's a beautiful image. The long exposure in the background is such a nice contrast to the crispness of the shell and the sand in the foreground, yet they blend so well together. I feel like the shell is left behind on the beach and the ocean is a little angry behind it. The palette is very nice. It's a very simplistic palette. It's not over competing, so it blends in. It's very painterly. I'm very interested in this photo. I think the lighting is fantastic, and I think the processing was fantastic as well. It's got a beautiful palette to it.
And the next honorable mention goes to Sherman Edwards from the Silver Spring Camera Club for his image, Apocalypse Number 2.
This is titled very well because when I look at this photo, I feel like this is a very apocalyptic photo. There's not much there. This really is the definition of minimalism, and it incorporates all the emotion that can come along with minimalism art. What is it? Why is it alone? Should it be alone? Does it make me feel good? Does it make me feel nervous or afraid? I think a little bit of both in this case, but what's so amazingly wonderful about the minimalistic movement that occurred in fine art and in photography. This is an exceptional photo, Sherm. Well done.
Congratulations goes to Christopher Frazone from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image, Direct Flight.
Excellent, excellent photo. Absolutely love that it is so dark and so black with these little lines from the plane flying through. This is a powerful image. It's got very little to say, but it's powerful. And that's why simplicity can work so well. One of the most appealing things to any artist or a viewer is simplicity. And just having these streaks behind the plane going through the photo, having that plane in the absolute perfect spot within your composition made this more powerful than any words can describe. Great work.
And our next honorable mention goes to Martin Heavner from the Frederick Camera Click for his image Cheval Abstract.
Yes. I think that this is a great subject and a great way to show minimalism. I think oftentimes we try and approach minimalism so differently, but this has color, but it has simplicity of line, and not seeing the entire vehicle, but just a portion of it is enough to bring me into the photo and say, what is it? I want to know more. The color palette is beautiful. The nice reflection on the chrome is amazing, and it is very simplistic, abstract, and minimalistic. Great photo.
Our next honorable mention award goes to Tom Gisriel from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image, A White Boat in Dark Waters.
This is a powerful image. It's so dark, so bold, and so simplistic that it stops a viewer in their tracks. I stopped immediately. I wanted to know more about it, but it's minimalism. So there's not much more other than the boat and the reflection itself. This is an excellent display of minimalism. This is a fantastic photo. Keep up the great work.
And our congratulations goes to E. June Jarkey from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Drifting.
Beautiful photo. I am so drawn to minimalism and especially winter photos because winter is ideal for minimalism. Not that it can only occur in winter, but this really is an iconic example of how you can have something so small and so minimalistic in an image, yet have it be so powerful. The starkness behind the tree, where you can barely see anything except a little bit of tree line in the back, gives it just enough mystery to want to draw me in. I want to go down that road. The composition is fantastic. The creativity is just spot on this photo. It's an excellent, excellent photo.
And our next honorable mention goes to Michael Minnesone from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image, White Out.
Sensational. Absolutely love this photo. It's such a small item. It's a small boat in the big, vast ocean, and that's communicated through your work. There's just a small color palette around the boat, and everything else is whited or grayed out, just enough to make it mysterious. I love it. I'm drawn to it. I think this is an excellent example of the subject, and you did an amazing job here.
The next honorable mention goes to Marina Neyman for her image, Rio Tejo, Lisbon.
I look at this image and I want to know what's beyond the posts. What is out there? There is an intriguing element, but I cannot see what it is. I know there's something there, but I can't see it. And it's only defined by a little bit of water coming up on the walk there, right against those posts. This is a great example of minimalism. It's a great piece of art. And I think that the temperature in this is actually spot on, the overall white balance. It's just adding to that feeling that there is something out there and it's minimalistic. It's important, yet maybe not sure what it is. It's mysterious. Great job.
And our last honorable mention in the minimalism category goes to Elizabeth Wilson from the Frederick Camera Click for her image, Expanse.
Well, I think Expanse is the proper title here, and I am so drawn to this photo for many reasons. Of course, the person in this scene is so small in a very vast landscape. So, we go to the person first. That's what our eyes are drawn to. We like to connect to people. So I'm very happy that you have that person placed there. But you have this beautiful palette with an absence of color, just a little bit of pastel and a long exposure on the water. This was an excellent concept that was executed very well, and it was processed very well. This is a strong, powerful image, and you succeeded in capturing minimalism.
And now we'll announce the awards for first, second, and third place in the minimalism category. And we'll start with the third place. Our congratulations goes to Bonnie Long for her image, White Sands Shrub.
This photo has a lot of power behind it, yet there's not a lot of subject, right? And I think that's what makes some photos so amazing, the simplicity. It's just shrub in a desert, yet there's some lines that give it some motion and movement. You were able to see something that was very small, that had a pattern to it, that had definition to it, and you were able to translate that into an isolated piece of nature to make it feel like it's isolated in a very vast desert. You did a very great job with this photo. The subject matter is fantastic. Your depth of field is great. Your creativity is spot on. Excellent work.
Second place award, and our congratulations, goes to Vinu Tumalapalli for his image, Sub-Zero Symphony.
This photo speaks volumes of isolation in so many ways. And what makes this image so powerful is a little splash of red. The perfect placement and the composition that is created up around the base of it. It's almost too surreal to believe, yet you want to believe it. It's very powerful. I'm drawn to it. I want to look at it. I think your composition is excellent. Your processing is excellent. It's not a bright red. It's the perfect red to blend with this environment. It's a very strong image, a very wonderful image. Congratulations.
And now, the first place award in the minimalism category. And our congratulations goes to Chris Kong from the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center Photo Club for the image, Sound of Silence.
This photo exhibits the epitome of minimalism. It's an empty audience, which is telling me a story about the artist and the way that the artist views certain things, certainly this subject matter. But this simple light on the top of the audience chairs is so inviting. It's so perfectly designed. The light is just touching those chairs that it creates a pattern of light and shadow that I want to know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't know what's at the end of it. So you've created an atmosphere. You've created an emotional reaction of wanting to see what's in the distance. Yet you've used a subject matter that obviously makes you feel almost alone in a vast world because there is nobody in the audience. This is an excellent concept, very professionally executed and dynamically processed in black and white. Fantastic work.
Jennifer, thank you again for your expert commentary. Very much appreciated. And congratulations again to all of our award winners in the minimalism category. Awards will now be announced for the shadows or silhouettes category. The MPA contest committee created the definition of shadows or silhouettes. Depict a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between rays of light and a surface. Silhouettes depict the dark shape and outline of someone or something visible against a lighter background. There were 324 entries in this category, and tonight we will award a first place, second place, third place, and 14 honorable mentions. And we will start with the honorable mention. So congratulations goes to Stephen April from the Carroll County Camera Club for his image, Birds on a Wire.
Yeah, I thought this was a really unusual shot, something we don't often see. It's simple, isn't it? And I think that when you're working with certainly silhouettes, sometimes simplicity really, really helps you. And I love the separation that we've got between these seven pals, or maybe they're not seven pals, but we've got three groups here. I like the group, the group on the left. We've got a nosy one to the right of that, sort of seeing what the one on the far left is doing. So there's lots of sort of stories, and we can understand without actually seeing lots of detail that these guys are sort of are preening, and then the one on the right is at a very sort of slightly different angle, almost as if it's like, look, I'm not with these six guys. So I think there's lots of story going on in here, and I think that just silhouetting these really simplified it. Super shot. Well done, Stephen.
The next honorable mention award goes to John Green from the Howard County Photographers for his image Drone Portrait.
Yeah, and I guess that this person, well, certainly, I think, didn't know that the drone was there, or certainly not looking up. In fact, they're looking very much down in our frame. I think we can see the nose of that person. But what I found is intriguing. It's got sort of two things for me that really drew me in. And that was the length of this shadow, that we can't really make sense of someone's features or being as we look down onto them. But of course, this extended shadow does reveal that, and I find that really interesting. And then we've got this very sort of strong yellow line coming through, and it almost is a barrier to that. And then this person's this looking over, so it adds a little bit of tension into the image, and I found that intriguing. Well done, John.
Congratulations goes to, for our next honorable mention, Ken Holden from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image Class Field Trip.
Yeah, and they're great, aren't they? And we've all got. I think they've got their. I don't know if they've got computers with them or sheets of paper, but they certainly out on this field trip, making notes. There is some connection between those four, but there's enough separation that we don't have limbs overlapping. So it gives a closeness of good friends at school, but or in class. But enough that we don't have anything mixing up. And look at the detail we've got, and look at the legs, all those wrinkles in their jeans. So you've got detail, but yet you haven't got detail, if you know what I mean. And then we've just got that little bit of light on this handrail coming up from the right hand side, and that makes it very 3D. And I found that a really interesting point. Well done, Ken.
The next honorable mention award goes to Tim Huskin from the Arundel Camera Club for his image Ryan on the Run.
Ryan's moving at some pace there. He really is. This is a wonderful piece of panning. And I don't know if we've caught that, almost like we've caught it out of a window or something. I really don't know. But the wonderful colours that we've got in the background. It's almost like we've got an ICM in the background with Brian just frozen there. But it's Brian's left arm that I found. I'm so pleased that we just caught his fist coming down, and I think it's his left arm, but it just misses his the back of his foot or his ankle. So it sort of tells us that he's definitely got that second arm there, and then we sort of slightly lose the silhouette with the light just on the hair at the back. And I think that's great. You've just got that wonderful position in elevated into this lighter area, and absolutely pin sharp when he must be moving at quite a pace. I think that's great. Well done, Tim.
And the next honorable mention award goes to Marie McGing from the Central Maryland Photography Guild, Marriottsville, for her image Summertime.
Well, I think this, is a strong communication image. I'm sure these kids are whistling as they're going down there. I can hear them, or they're singing a song, their favorite song or something like that. The hat on the lad in the background there, and he looks like he's almost got oversized shoes on. I think it's a really lovely sort of depiction of two friends in summertime. Both have got legs in really good positions. And I know it's a really small detail, this, but it's the grass, I think, that works as well. You know, it makes sense of the base and the top. It's not something black and then something grey. You know, we really can understand what that bottom's all about. And it's one of those images where it's daring to put so much bottom in there, so much black. And I think it really works. Yeah, that was a great shot.
And our next honorable mention award goes to Donna Jones from the Montgomery County Camera Club of Maryland for her image, Queen.
Yeah, and we can see all of the Queen without actually seeing the Queen, I think, because what this silhouetting has done is it's allowed us, if you look at the edges of this, look at the back of her hair, so we can sort of tell exactly what the hair will look like by these little ribs that we've got going down the back, and then just enough light on her adornment around her neck, and it just picks up that earring too. So I think that, you know, sort of separates us from, you know, just being a complete silhouette. But I would ask you all a question: has this lady got her eyes open or her eyes closed? And of course, you're going to make your decision on that. But for me, her eyes are closed, and I just sort of feel it's very restful and a very peaceful image. Yeah, one I really, really enjoyed.
Congratulations goes to Anis Khan from the Gaithersburg Camera Club for the image, Dance of Light.
Yeah, and I have no idea what this is, so it's a little bit of abstract, but I was intrigued by it. They look almost like a Venetian blind, you know, but like the blades of a blind. They may or may not be, who knows? But we've got this solid black in the right hand corner, and then against each one of these blades, I'm going to call them blades, they're very dark on the top, and then this very soft, uh, gradual sort of fading through the greys into an almost white until we get to the next blade. And I just really found that attractive, especially as it's got this texture built into that too. And then everything is separated from from this corner too. So yeah, it's a wonderful little abstract. Yeah, lovely shot.
The next honorable mention award goes to Don Klein from the Charm City Photo Club for his image, Lamp.
Well, who knew you could get such an interesting shot out such a simple setup as just having a lamp against a wall with some really bright light coming in, and then making sure that we've just made that decision to almost lose the grays. There are some grays in that lampshade, but wow, we've gone black or white in probably 90% of the image. And again, it's made it sort of appear almost as a little bit of an abstract. But I do love that light just coming down the center post there of the lamp standard there, with just a rim coming down there, and then we've got a chain over on the right hand side, which I guess could be operating a blind. So we've got all the bits that we understand, but because we've taken it in black and white, it flattens the image. It takes us a little while to turn it back into 3D and understand it. And of course, that's the beauty of the image. So yeah, well done, Don.
Congratulations to Marie McGee from the Central Maryland Photography Guild, Marriottsville, for her image, Pals in the Park.
Yeah, I picked up a story from this, really, that I think the girl on the far right with her hands on her hips is the boss. That's how it sort of seems to me. You know, she's one, you know, what we should be doing. The only person that dared challenge her is two people away from her, with the girl with the ponytail talking to her. But the two young lads on the boys there on the left hand side, I think one's whispering to each other and saying, I think we should just ignore her and do what we want to do. So you're going to make up your own story you know, with this, and I think that's what's really interesting. Set over on that right hand side gives everything a lot of space too. So it says that there are other things. Just tells us that we're outside and enjoying life. Yeah, great one.
Our next honorable mention award goes to Sandy Nichols from the Baltimore Camera Club for her image, Jogging at Sunset.
So use of a wide angle here to draw this this person in, and then sort of get this really big wide environment around them. What I liked about this was that the lady is going around a corner, and the wide angle is sort of flattening that out a little bit, and it's that position of her left foot with just the heel going down, just about to put pressure onto the floor, and then this shadow, so completely silhouetted out, a little triangle in her left arm too, and then even the fingers on the right hand with a hair going upwards, you know, so with the movement of her body. I think it really gave it was like that decisive moment shot. Yeah, very enjoyable. Well done, Sandy.
The next honorable mention award goes to Gary Topper for his image, Wall Mounts.
Well, can you really get an image out of 4 wall mounts? Of course you can if you've got light, because photography is about the light, not about the subject. Who knows what they're for? You know, maybe just hanging a TV or, you know, who knows? But that strong light coming from that right-hand side, slightly upwards, casts this very, very strong shadow. And I think what I found really intriguing about that was those shadows make the textures on those tiles look completely different. It almost turns it into a negative. So, you know, this could be 4 comets flying through space, and somehow we've caught them on camera. So yes, something we understand. Yes, something we can interpret as we want. Is it abstract? Well, it can be if you want. Well done, Gary.
Congratulations goes to Debbie Wolf from the Arundel Camera Club for her image, Woman, Light and Dark.
Yeah, so the lightest and the darkest part is the lady. And again, you know, it's a really a great way to do some storytelling is to not give us too much detail, because you know I feel that there's some sadness in this image, and it's just I think the position of the lady's head, or you know her neck, is just leaning, her head's just coming forward, and then that light sort of going sort of through her throat there, and then rim lit all the way around the edge, so we can get a real understanding of the lady's face. But I think the sadness is drawn into me by her mouth just being sort of slightly open, and I just I don't know why it does that, how it communicates that, but it does. You know, tip of the head and mouth open. Yeah, again, one I really connected with. Well done, Debbie.
Congratulations to Beamy Young from the Frederick Camera Click for the image, Granary.
Wow, well, what a wide vista we have here, and it really is all about shadows and light, and now that gives us wonderful sort of flowing of these contours, and we've got layers and layers and layers of it, and just broken up by you know by the buildings and the trees. And it's one of those images where I just think, wow, I'm so pleased I'm seeing this in monochrome, because it's busy in monochrome, but I can really enjoy those tones and textures. And in color, I think it may be too busy for me. So I think it's so someone who's really thought through how they want to you know present this, and it's yeah, a really really pleasing image. The one that I think you can look at for quite a long time, and you see something different the more you look into it. Wonderful.
And the last honorable mention and our congratulations goes to Nicholas Zacharikis from the North Bethesda Camera Club for his image, Hug Me Tender.
Yeah, don't you get a sense of this may have been taken on film? It's not quite got the right contrast. It's a little bit washed out in the blacks. It's all part of the feeling of this image, and how the gentleman has just got his hand very lightly on her back. We can't make the details out, but we have got that separation with her chin and then the gentleman's nose. I think that's all we need. It's actually about the hands touching. And then we've got a couple in the background to make sort of, again, add a little bit of sort of context into it, that we're at the dance. And again, his hand is gently touching her shoulder, and he's pulling himself in, he's hugging that lady. So yeah, Hug Me Tender, that's exactly the right title. There really is some wonderful tenderness in this image. Super.
And now we'll award the first, second, and third place awards in the shadows and silhouettes category. And we'll start with the third place. And our congratulations goes to Ken Holden from the Baltimore Camera Club for his image, Crossing the Line.
Well, another image that we've taken into not black and white, but black or white. So, there's nothing in the middle. And how on earth do you make such an insignificant small black line become so important in an image? But yeah, that's exactly what Ken has done. And this young man here stepping over the line, crossing that line, and his hands are out, so that gives me a little bit of, it's like warning. He's worried about his balance or where he's going. We can't really understand that, but I think it adds some tension into it. There's some danger in crossing the line. He's quite wary, and I think that again was a good sort of communication image. Yeah, well done, Ken.
And now the second place award, and our congratulations, goes to Tim Huskin from the Arundel Camera Club for his image, Mesquite Sunrise.
Well, again, all about the light, isn't it? And we don't really get a sense of scale here, but I believe it's a huge view that we're looking at. It's a beautiful monochrome conversion, losing detail in the sky, really bringing that down, and then these grays, almost like a silver going through this image, and I'm really drawn into where those verticals that come down and then they go around a small curve at the bottom, like a little infinity curve round at the bottom, and it's almost like the stress in the material, in the sand, I guess, that is what I think I'm looking at. It could be something completely different, and then these almost like razor edges of them, and how that works with the light. So I just found that was a really beautiful image, really beautiful.
And now the first place award, and our congratulations goes to Frank Sierra from the Gaithersburg Camera Club for his image, Wedge Watchers.
Yeah, I found this very different, and actually a really daring image. That it's very grainy, but it's actually part of it. And I love that, the elongation of these people. Is it a shadow? I don't know. Are we looking up at someone? I really don't know. And what are they doing? He's gazing. He's a wedge watcher. So has he got is he looking through his camera or his binoculars? And then the lady is looking at him. But I love these really long legs, and then these panels that we've got, which they communicate to me as like glass panels, but although we've got all this grain in them, I can still see the fine edges of those, and then we've got this wedge in the sky. So again, it just sort of gives me some sort of confusion with it, of where people are. They're not quite in the right plane. The wedge sort of isn't quite in. It appears to be in the sky, but maybe it's on the floor. So it's one of those intriguing images, and I think, if anybody's worried about noise, really don't be, because we've got lots of grain in this, and I think it really gives this a different dimension, and I found that a really interesting image. Congratulations, Frank.
Jonathan, once again, thank you for your excellent commentary, and congratulations to all of the award winners in the silhouettes or shadows category. Yes, and congratulations again to all of the award winners in all 4 categories. And our congratulations to our 2 judges, Jennifer and Jonathan, for the great work they did and for the really wonderful commentary. Out of the 65 awards that were given out tonight, 49 were to members of MPA and 16 were non-MPA members, and you see the distribution here by club. So thank you very much for attending the 8th Annual Photography Contest Award Ceremony. And we're going to keep this up for a few minutes longer. We do hope you'll consider making a donation to one of our 2 charities. Tonight it's Flashes of Hope, helping kids with cancer. Thanks again for joining us, and everybody, great shooting out there. Take care.